the Bob Doyle Show.
Yeah!
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
It's the Bob Doyle Show, ladies and gentlemen. That makes me Bob Doyle. And this, the show. Pardon me, episode 13. On the books, in the air, it's happening. We're creating history even as we speak. And wow, we got a lot to talk about today. A lot. Okay, it's not that much. It's about the same amount of stuff that we have to talk about every time I do a show, so it's really no big surprise there. But we will have some fun. We have an interview later, which I'm very ambivalent about. Ambivalent, a word that I said poorly. Thank you. That's just acknowledging my attempt. Well, I'm expecting some very special viewers today, some people who have subscribed to this broadcast to pop in here at any time, but they may not. I don't depend on that. But you know what? There's a lot about this show that is about this whole issue of viewers and attendance and the platform and all of that we're going to be talking about. So before I get into that, though, I want to remind you that there is an ongoing game associated with this program, and it's associated with the titling of this program. Did I mention I was Bob Doyle? Yeah, I did. So last show was entitled Let's All Get Crazy Dogs. This week's title is Stuck in Your Craw. There is a connection between those two phrases, as there will be connections to all the phrases that I use to title the show over the next however long it takes for someone to catch on. And they may never drop. Dropped frames detected. Your stream quality may be affected. No, this is the Bob Doyle Show. We don't drop frames here. Let's get that clear. The Bob Doyle Show being currently broadcast here on Blab.im/Bob Doyle Secret and at BobDoyleShow.com and at BobDoyleLive.com. That's too many, isn't it? It sure is. That's too much to keep up with. I've been talking to people, behind the scenes, and they all say that's confusing. And of course I have to agree. Why would I not agree with that? Why do you want to tell somebody 3 different places to go to? So, changes a-coming. And just as soon as I thought I had, here's what's going to happen, I knew what we were going to talk, what I was going to do for the platform, along comes Facebook Live. Now, Facebook Live's been around, for certain people. But now, they've changed the game because they've released the API, which doesn't mean anything to some people, but what it means to us here on the Bob Doyle Show is that instead of broadcasting little squares only from your phone on Facebook Live, you can now broadcast like I'm doing here. So everything I'm doing here, all the fun tricks and bells and whistles, can be used over at Facebook Live. And I did a Facebook Live broadcast yesterday just testing that. And here's what happened. A lot of people showed up with absolutely no prior notification whatsoever. And there was interaction. It was exactly what this show is supposed to be, except it didn't have all the bells and whistles. I was using a different piece of software to broadcast over there, so I couldn't do all the fun stuff that I normally do. Hello, Melanie. Thank you for being here. You're just a few minutes late. Traffic, I guess. I was just talking about Facebook Live. And basically, it's like this, ladies and gentlemen. It's the future. There's no way it's not. If we as broadcasters, if traffic is life, then yes, traffic. No, look, I don't know exactly what you're implying there. Oh, traffic. What I just said, that's exactly what you're saying. You see where my brain went? Do you know where my brain went? All right, so it's just me and Melanie right now as we wait for all the other people to come in. In fact, let's check the hit. Now, there's the people who are here in Blab, and then there's people who are viewing on YouTube Live, and then of course there's the throngs of people over at BobDoyleShow.com. If we can bring in a monkey counter, we have a rapidly changing number here. I'm not sure, we're going to have to check in when things settle down, but obviously people pouring in from all over the place. We'll check back in on the monkey counter later, because that's a mature thing to do. Okay, yeah. So Facebook Live. I wanted to talk about that. Excuse me. I wanted to talk about Facebook Live because here's the deal. My question is, and I guess I was hoping for a little bit more people in here to engage in the discussion, but I can certainly carry this on with Melanie or just by myself. But Facebook Live has, what the major difference between this and Facebook Live is that Facebook Live is where everybody is. That's where everybody's hanging out anyway, right? They're over on Facebook. They're playing around, they're sharing posts, they're doing this. And then when we go live, it shows up on their newsfeed if they're my friend, if they're my follower. And they can spontaneously go on over and check out the show. And I have a built-in much bigger audience. So yesterday, I was just testing this stuff and I went live on Facebook and I had all these people. It was like a dream show almost, except that I wasn't prepared for any of my other show stuff. So it's clear to me that now there are a few things that have to happen before I can fully move the show over there, technically. Like the software I was using yesterday that allowed me to do that doesn't allow me to do all the goofy stuff that I do here. So I have to wait till this software catches up. But they're working on it. And allegedly I can already do it on certain pages, but I can't do it on my personal page, and I can't do it on the Bob Doyle Show page. So here's what's gonna happen, folks. I'm gonna hopefully be able to simulcast still to YouTube Live and Facebook Live at the same time. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I do know I'm simulcasting to Blab and YouTube, but I may not be able to do both. But Facebook Live is where I will most likely be doing the show. And I think that you'll be seeing Facebook be a media outlet as time goes on, because now that everybody can basically broadcast on Facebook, or they soon will be able to, why wouldn't they? And it makes me wonder what's going to happen to our news feeds when like everybody just decides I don't want to type anymore. I'm just going to broadcast. Now there's just nothing but live broadcasts of varying qualities. I'm sure they've thought that through. I'm guessing. But I have to ask myself, so here on Blab, I'm assuming, by the way, that the sound is okay. I'm sure that Melanie would have told me if it wasn't. But here on Blab, we have the interaction. I've got the chat over here. I can bring people on, all of that. It's nice and convenient. But that's and the lag time, the delay time is very minimal. And that is, of course, a huge factor. Because with YouTube, it can be 30, 45 seconds, a minute, I guess, depending on your connection. And same with Facebook Live, there's a little bit of a delay. So it's not quite as immediate. And since this is all about interaction, allegedly, first it's about attendance, then it's about interaction. Actually, we all know that's not true. This show is totally about just me, only me. So if I want to say it's about interaction or whatever, I can do that, because since it's about me, I get to make up the rules. That's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about this. So, boy, these really help. They really help me read this, but not this. So I have to share with you, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, let me see if I can do this, because I have to. I have to. Is this going to work? I don't know. We're going to find out. Oh, I did this totally wrong anyway. Sorry. Hold on. I'm going to do it this way, because I have to share something with you. And here it comes. This is the comment that is staring me in the face here from Melanie. Up your bum. Like every time I look over at the comment section, I see up your bum. So I need other comments. You know what I didn't do? I didn't notify my group. Let's do that, shall we? Can we both just tell everybody? I got my 459 followers. So people are, sorry, let me get rid of this. People are, I am getting new subscribers here and all of that, but they're not very responsive. And I couldn't even send out my little notifications today because there was a problem with my cool new technology that allows me to, bypass email and all that other stuff. Are you getting notifications, Melanie? It's pretty cool when it works. Not working today. So why do I stay here? I don't know. Because you know what? Everybody who, I shouldn't say everybody, I don't know that for a fact, but most of the people who are showing up here or showing up on Periscope or whatever, they're my Facebook friends. We're connected on Facebook anyway. And I know that they're hanging out on Facebook a lot longer and more than they are on either Blab or Periscope to randomly get some notification that I am broadcasting, or anyone is. So I think just overall, strategically, it's just better. It's just better to do it on Facebook until something else changes. But if I'm looking at an audience and sharing and it's all built in, the community's there, why wouldn't I go? No, I know you didn't get a notification because it didn't work. I couldn't send anybody a notification. No one. If you're watching this replay and you're wondering, what are you talking about notifications? Well, we have a technology that allows us to notify you on your desktop or on your Facebook messages when the show goes live, as opposed to sending you email. But here's the big announcement, and I should have created a graphic for it and done some music. Let me see what kind of music can I... No, not this one. How about this? No, that's lame too. I said that was lame. Technology. It can be so stubborn. I'm announcing right now the first JD has joined, and it is about time. Thank you, JD, for being here. It is awesome to have you here. Can we find out a little bit about JD? Boss JD99. So that's all I can find out. He has been on Blab for 264 days, but there's no other profile description, so I can't really say too much about him, but except that we're all glad he's here. What the hell was I saying? Oh, schedule. So I'm going to. So one of the challenges that any show has in terms of getting regular viewership is not having a schedule, right? You got to have a schedule. You got to know when to clear your calendar to open up your life for the Bob Doyle Show. So I will be announcing this more formally, but also, well, I mean, this is a formal announcement, but Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays. All right. Now, Sundays and Tuesdays, is that right? Yeah, Sundays and Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Sundays, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Thursdays, I'm going to go noon. Noon Pacific, so that I can hit all my UK crowd. Can you imagine how bummed they'd be if they didn't have the opportunity to come on live with this? I can't do that. It would hurt international relations. And I just can't carry the weight of that. So much easier just for me to schedule a show that they can view in a time zone that is 8 hours away from mine or whatever. So that's it. So now you know, and it'll be on the webpage, which, by the way, more news, more change. The BobDoyleShow.com, which I think virtually is untraveled, even though it is the website for this program, doesn't get a lot of people going to it, because the only thing that there is, well, it's the archive of all of our shows. So there's that. It's all of my Instagram pictures. It's all my original music. So there's a lot of content there. But, I do the show here, or it's over on Facebook or whatever. When it's live, people are generally here. I'm sorry, YouTube is what I meant. Facebook to be. So what we're working on now is a strategy, basically. A strategy. That where you go is BobDoyleShow.com. That's where you go. That's what's going to be, or actually it's going to be BobDoyleShow.tv. Just so you know. Now you know I'm playing in the big leagues, because it costs more than twice the amount of registering a regular .com to get a TV. So if I've invested like that, well, I'm in it for the long haul. So yes, I am working on strategy around this. There is a question for all of you watching this replay. If you're not following me on Facebook, we need to make that happen, because clearly that's where all this is headed. So, Boundless Living. So it's facebook.com/boundless living. I'm going to go ahead and type it here in the comments, just to be in the practice of typing into comments. Boundless Living. Boom. And that will take you to my personal page, which is where I'll probably start doing the broadcasts, because there's technical reasons, but there's also, that's where everybody is. I got more people on my personal page than I do in the Bob Doyle Show Bob Doyle Show Facebook page. So why would I go over there to begin with, right? I need a marketing assistant. Well, I do. I actually have one. I have engaged one, and we are in the process of all of it. We took a meeting yesterday, and that is why, for example, you gave me 1,000 props. Melanie, you're awesome. And that is why I created a schedule. That is why I registered .tv. And then I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I promise you, we will show you great support. Okay. All right, well, I guess that's really all I wanted. I was really kind of thinking, well, if we got a group, we could talk about Facebook Live. And in fact, I'm going to try an experiment. I'm going to try an experiment here. I'm going to change the topic of the Blab to talking Facebook Live. Is it a Blab? How about this? This will get them. Blab/Periscope killer. Oh crap! I get not enough characters. How about just a Periscope killer? You know, ruffle a little feathers. And let's see what happens. Let's see if anybody just pops in and says, what? And then we can talk about it again, and you'll hear me say everything I already said. So while we're waiting for the throngs to come in to talk about Facebook Live, if they do, and if they don't, I'm going to change it right back to Stuck in Your Craw. While we're doing that, I want to remind you again, ladies and gentlemen, about viewer mail. You've got to participate in this. It doesn't matter what platform we're on, viewer mail is going to happen. It's going to happen. And the way you do it is you go to bobdoyleshow.com, you click on this, you're prompted to either leave a voice message or a video message, and then I get that message, and then we have viewer mail, which looks like this, and there's music behind it, and it'll be you going, Bob, I get it already with the viewer mail. I clearly don't have anything to say to you. You've asked me about this 3 or 4 shows now, and I still haven't sent you a viewer mail. So why don't you stop harassing me about the viewer mail and come up with your own content and stop depending on your viewers to supply your content with this whole viewer mail scam of yours. Anyway, that's the way viewer mail will work. Okay, so I wish you'd do that, whoever and wherever and whenever you are. The other thing, of course, that makes this show fun, if you participate, is letting me broadcast from your living room. Now, how are we going to do that? Now, I've been talking about this. I'm going to demonstrate it again. So, I should really mute my phone before I do a show. Okay, so what I'm going to do to demonstrate this is I have to do my little thing where I freeze up, and it makes the video wonky for a second, but you'll still be able to hear me. And then when we come back, we will continue on with what